Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Be Fierce 365 with Lisa Copeland. Day 2 of my journey of taking you on my journey of how we're going to be unapologetically fierce for the next 365 days. And today I am so excited. My special guest, who got to the airport early this morning so she could be on the show because I got such amazing feedback from yesterday's show, Sharon Lechter. Sharon, welcome.
Hello, my dear Lisa. Happy to be with you.
Well, I just have to say something about you before I get into Outwitting the Devil, because the reason I called you yesterday to be on the show is because I don't know if you saw the page views, the views of the show. People said I bought the book. My mother went and bought Outwitting the Devil yesterday.
Go, Mom.
Yes, because I told the audience that book changed my life. Now, for everybody out there, there's 3 ways that you can show Sharon and myself that you like the show. If you will share it, if you will leave us comments, because we're not going to be able to see live your comments, and we will get back to you during the show. If you'll follow Sharon Lechter and buy the book Outwitting the Devil. It's unbelievable, changed my life. So Sharon is in Arkansas right now, coming off of her unbelievable tour of awards, and got up early, got to the airport early so she could talk to us about what it was like to annotate and edit the great Napoleon Hill's work on Outwitting the Devil. But before we do that, like this, share it, leave us a comment so that I know you were here, because Facebook and these crazy algorithms, for more people to see this later and see the replays, we need your feedback this morning, and you will not want to miss this. Let me just tell you just a little bit about Sharon Lechter. Lifetime Achievement from Business Magazine, Changemaker Global Voice Award, Trendsetter for Phoenix on November 9th. She will receive the Gold Medal for Literary Achievement from Naploen Hill Foundation, which I believe that one's in November, Sharon, in Houston, and I'm going to be there because I'm so proud of you. And then previously awarded the Earl Nightingale and Mary Kay Ash Award. Okay, this lady is no joke. She's also the co-founder of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad Empire, co-author, and the author of Think and Grow Rich for Women. So needless to say, Sharon is kind of a big deal. I've got to say hello, Sharon. We got a bunch of people on the line right now. Rick's here, Jonathan, Allison, Angela Totman, who of course runs your life, Lisa, Sean, Rick, Chris, Laura, and everybody's here, Sharon. Everybody's up this morning to hear you. So I want to give everybody kind of a back and remind everybody what we talked about yesterday. I talked about chapter 4 in Outwitting the Devil, right? And the thing that the devil starts, and my notes were that the devil starts at a young age instilling limiting thoughts and beliefs of fear, superstition, greed, lust, revenge, anger, vanity, and just plain laziness. And he gets his best results when he takes control of young minds. He sets up habits which keep doors ajar forever. Sharon, talk to us about your journey on taking Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill, I think his finest work, out of the vault after 75 years and bringing it to life. And I'm turning it over to you now.
It was a pretty cool experience. We first booked 3 Feet from Gold. The month we released that in 2009, I got a phone call. I always talk about every phone call can change your life. And that phone call was from Don Green at the Napoleon Hill Foundation. He says, I've just gotten this manuscript. It's been hidden away, and Napoleon Hill wrote it in 1938 because when Think and Grow Rich came out in 1937, he was frustrated. He says, even though people know what they're supposed to do, they don't do it. And he even applied that in his own life. He says, here I am, the guardian of this vault of how to be successful, and I still have a roller coaster success track. And so he sat down and I think he kind of downloaded it. And wrote Outwitting the Devil. But his wife worked for the church, and so she forbid it to be published, and she was afraid she'd get fired. And so it got locked away, and he died in 1970. She died in the 90s, and then her sister had it, and she died, I think, in 2011. And that's when the manuscript was given, 2009, given to the foundation. And I remember the call I got from Don. He says, I really don't know what to do with this, and I'd really like your opinion. And at the time, I literally just finished the negativity of the Split Up with Rich Dad. And I thought, oh my gosh, well, send it to me, Don. I'll look at it. And so I got it, and I literally went over to San Diego at the ocean, turned off my phone, sat and read this manuscript in just a few hours. And it was like...
How big was the manuscript?
Yeah, it was like a transformation occurred to me. It was, of course, in 38, it was typed on a manual typewriter. So I'm looking at pages that were from a manual typewriter, but I'm also seeing Napoleon Hill's handwritten notes in the margin. And it was just surreal, totally surreal. And as I'm reading it, realizing he wrote in 1938, he was predicting things that have occurred in recent times. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. And the things he talked about as far as what was going to happen to society, about the age of entitlement, people literally not being in control of their own thoughts, the concept of drifting. I mean, it was just a power pack to me on the fact that when we first got together to do 3 Feet from Gold, the foundation wanted me to reinvigorate the teachings of Napoleon Hill with the younger generation. And while 3 Feet from Gold has been very successful and partially done that, it is Outwitting the Devil. It has really energized the younger generation. It's a little in your face. It's a discussion between the devil and Napoleon Hill. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And I will tell you, and I just noticed a bunch of more people jumped on. Josh Cummins, Greg, Anisa. I mean, Sharon, people were so excited that they got up this morning because this book, Outwitting the Devil, which was annotated and edited by Sharon Lechter, who of course is the co-founder and co-editor, good grief, you'll kill me for that one, co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Sharon has sold over 30 million books in her career. And so for her to be asked by the, Napoleon Hill, let's just tell some of our listeners, for those of you who are just joining, we've got Sharon Lechter on. If you'd like this, reshare it so somebody who doesn't get up and is as ambitious as you are this morning, that they will see this amazing interview. Like us, leave us comments so that Sharon and I can answer you later. But Sharon Lechter, what was it like to be asked by the Napoleon Hill Foundation? I mean, Napoleon Hill is the godfather of personal development. There would be no Tony Robbins. There would be no anybody if Napoleon Hill would not have started with Think and Grow Rich. Tell us, our viewers a little bit more about Napoleon Hill for some of those who may not know the brilliance of Napoleon Hill.
Well, I love it because, I'll ask an audience how many people have read Think and Grow Rich. And typically, depending on which group I'm in front of, it can be anywhere from half to almost the whole audience. But sometimes, there's always people that don't know who he is and have never heard of Think and Grow Rich. And I say, well, actually, you may not recognize his name, but you definitely will recognize his work. Napoleon Hill is the one who came up with the concept of the Mastermind. He's the one that came up with the concept of pay yourself first. He's the one that came up with the term, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And the comment, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. So even though you may not know him, you know his work. And of course, when I talk about the law of attraction, people think of Rhonda Byrne and the movie and the book, The Secret. Well, Napoleon Hill actually first wrote about the law of attraction in 1911. So he really is the one that talked about it. If you think positive thoughts, you will attract positive results. If you keep negativity in your mind, you're going to attract additional negativity. And so, his work. As you said, Tony Robbins, even Rich Dad, every personal finance or personal development writer has borrowed or honored and given credit to Napoleon Hill for his brilliance. And it wasn't one man's philosophy. That's why it's still as pertinent today as it was when he originally released Think and Grow Rich in 1937, because he talked to the 500 of the most successful men. There were no women in business at that time in the world. And so it was like a term paper on success. He took the common elements of all of those people, and those common elements are still powerful today. And that's why I recommend everyone read Think and Grow Rich. But if you're younger generation, start with Outwitting the Devil, because so many times we hold ourselves back. We allow ourselves to be crippled by fear. Fear can do one of two things. It can motivate you or paralyze you. Most of us allow it to paralyze us. And so Outwitting the Devil allows you to get blocked through those fears. And it's a powerful book. Every time I read it, I still find things that, even though I helped publish it, it gives you a different meaning every time you read it.
It's unbelievable. Well, Sharon, this is a very short show. I want you to tell our viewers now, what are you doing now? You know, you are like, you're the most amazing woman. If those of you are just tuning in, you know, I go back and watch the replay because Sharon's awards and accolades are so long. It would take me another 15 minutes to go through them. She's one of the most amazing women, dearest friends I know. But Sharon, tell us what you're doing now, your latest project, which I'm so excited about, and how can our viewers follow you and find out more about everything that you're up to, because you're up to big stuff nowadays.
Well, thank you. Well, my number one job is being Lisa Copeland's biggest cheerleader. But other than that, I also I'm now doing, have launched the Play Big Movement. I have a private Facebook group, Play Big Movement with Sharon Lechter. I invite all of you to sign up and join, because I'm doing weekly shows on Wednesdays and Thursday mornings and providing content.
The great Sharon Lechter is doing in your Play Big Movement, which I will post everybody. You're doing with you a personal show on personal development. The woman that wrote 30 million books, and you're jumping in and you're pouring into the lives of just a few thousand people at this point.
And it's interesting because what I'm doing is I'm talking about the things that I'm doing right now as I'm reinvigorating this new brand so that other people can do it as well. Because if you're going to do something, make it as big as possible. You know, not only think about the legacy you're leaving, but live it every day. And most importantly, create maximum impact. Today is a day of collaboration, not competition. And so who can you partner with to take your message to a larger audience? And it's those concepts that have created the success of the Children's Talking Book, the concept of the success of Rich Dad around the globe. And it's what we're doing again today, is reaching out and making new associations and working together to make the largest impact.
Sharon, and that's one thing I didn't tell everyone in the audience, that you invented the talking book. Remember the books from Disney, everybody, that you'd hit Cinderella's voice? And anyways, I can go on, and Cinderella reads you that part of the book. Well, that was Sharon's company. And that was the magic of her.
I was not the inventor. I was a good friend of the inventor, and yes. I helped Michael, my husband, did the patent work for it, but I helped him build the business. Yeah.
Yes, you built yes. Thank you for that. I mean, this is one of the most brilliant women you ever want to meet. One of the all-time best-selling authors, and just the fact that she got up this morning to give you a little backstory, because I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks. And I do want royalties on all the books we sell, Sharon. I'm just kidding. I love this book. This book, Outwitting the Devil, changed my life. And I'm going through and I'm dissecting this book, because this book really, to me, is what helped me crush any limiting thoughts or beliefs I had in the past, and fear, and push through it. And I remember, Sharon, I was about 3/4 of the way through the book, because I'm not going to give away any of it because the ending's so powerful. And I kept calling Sharon. I'm like, okay, so is this good? And she's like, my dear, you have to read the book. I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, you wrote the book and edited it. Please tell me. And she's like, no, you have to get to it. And boy, I am glad I waited. This book, like I said, we're going to spend the next 2 weeks every day. We're going to write in our journals about it. We're going to talk about it. But I wanted you all to meet the woman that really brought this book out of the vault. And just to close off, Sharon, what was it like to try to pare down? Because as the annotator, the annotator, you actually just gave your summary through the book, but as the editor of this manuscript, what was it like trying to pare down Napoleon Hill's thoughts and turn it into a best-selling book? I can't even imagine.
Well, it wasn't easy, but I called it precision editing, because the way that I set up the book is the comments that I make are in a different typeset. So for those people that are diehard Hill fans, skip over my comments because you know who he is. But the whole purpose of us bringing this book out was to introduce Napoleon Hill's work to a younger generation. And that's why I added comments that really compared 1938 to today, and so that it would be relevant for what Hill was talking about. There were pieces that I took out. I mean, things where he went on a very long conversation about Hitler, because it was a contemporary time. And that piece did not add value to the reader. And so, but his work I did not edit very, 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 very little to his what you read is his actual words. The only thing I did, there's a secret chapter that's referred to at the end of the book that you can download online that didn't make it in the book. And there were other sections that we took out, but it was, it's an incredible book, and it really does help open your eyes to the things that hold you back.
Well, Sharon, our time is up together. Thank you. Your beautiful daughter, Shelly, is on. Shelly and Nigel, Lisa, Beth, who I was with last night, all the women in Austin, Texas. We are so proud of you.
I was so jealous. You guys look like you're having a good time.
Exactly. And what's the party without our dear friend Sharon Lechter? But we celebrate you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be back on in 10 minutes with the founder of On the Dot Woman. We are giving away a ticket to the See It to Believe It Success Summit next week. It's just going to be a 5-minute show coming on at 7:10 with Melinda Garvey. You were on the prerequisite to win that ticket is if you were on this show and you pop into the next show in about 7 minutes. It's only going to be 5 minutes, but that's what I want this show about. It's about personal development. Not only did Sharon's and Napoleon Hill's work change my life, but knowing Sharon Lechter has changed my life. She's my dear friend. I'm so proud of you. Continued success. I'm going to post in the comments when we get off the show how you can follow Sharon in her Play Big Again movement. I'm a follower of the movement. Who doesn't want to play big again? Follow Sharon on Facebook. She's, again, the most brilliant, kind, philanthropic, and woman full of integrity you ever want to meet. Sharon, I love you. Safe travels out of Arkansas back to Phoenix. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be back on at 7:10, but please share this. Leave your comments for myself or for Sharon. We will jump in and we'll answer them. Share it, like it, comment. This is your show, and I want you to be better for it every single day. And tomorrow we will be back to Outwitting the Devil. Sharon, I love you and thank you.
Thank you. Everybody have a fabulous day.
Bye-bye.